Recording.
Okay. Yeah, recording.
Now we become different persons.
I know. Put on my professional face and talking about professional things. uh, so, welcome everybody who's watching this video to this Jungle Jabber. I am here with Fernando, and we're going to hear all about Fernando's life and work, hopefully. Pardon?
I hope not everything.
Not everything. No, no. Highlights. Highlights. um. So your full name, Fernando, is
Fernando Mateos-González, or in English, Fernando Mateos-González.
so
Does
I
it
won't.
sound like in English? Sometimes it's difficult to make it through.
Well, you say it so much nicer than I would ever say it. So yeah, and can we call you Nando for short?
Yeah, for sure.
Nando.
Many people call me Nando.
Cool. Well, welcome, Nando. So my name is Beth. For anyone watching this interview, I am a wild learning specialist with Wild Team, and I am not used to doing interviews. I stumble over my words quite a lot, and we'll see how this goes. But hopefully we'll have a bit of fun, and yeah, we'll get to know a bit more about Nando. That is the
It's
main.
gonna be great because our conversations are already great all the time. Now we just need to record it.
All of our conversations, all of the time. And first of all, I'm going to give a quick overview of you and your highlights of your life and your career. So I've done a little bit of preparation, but I have to say that there are some websites out there that write a lot of brilliant stuff about you. So I have slightly stolen some of this and tweaked it. This is one of my favorite. Okay. Fernando is a Spanish biologist with broad interests in behavioral ecology and evolution. He pursued his PhD in Barcelona, where he studied social and sexual functions of color traits. After completing his dissertation, he went to Uppsala. Is that in
Sweden.
Sweden? It was somewhere around there.
Uppsala, Sweden.
Sweden, where he, very nice, love to go, where he worked on the evolution of species interactions under fluctuating environmental conditions. Here comes the good bit. Fernando has been subjected to fluctuation conditions himself by further exploring his research interests in field trips around Europe, Africa, the Americas, and Australia.
Lots of fluctuating environments.
Nando works at the moment as many things as we'll learn through this, as a conservation biologist at Alka Wildlife and an independent research group. Oh, it is an independent research group, sorry, in the Czech Republic, Turingoy, and as a researcher at the Nature Research Centre. He has many, many things he does in his spare time. And also, please, sorry?
Too many things.
Too many things, yeah. Please do tell me if I get anything wrong. Just correct me. So the list of spare time, whatever spare time means to you. So Nando participates as a scientific guide and mentor in expeditions of the British Exploring Society, organizing his own expeditions. I've just been looking them up on your website. They sound great. And helps early career conservationist biologists navigate their professional careers through the Conservation Careers platform. And you've got two personal, well, one's a website, one's a Facebook page, is that right?
One is a website, and the other one is a community that includes Facebook group, Facebook page, lots of social media, but also some Slack groups.
Cool. So it's bioblogia.net. And
Bioblogia is the worst name I could have ever chosen, but it's impossible for any people. It doesn't matter if they speak English or Spanish; no one can remember it. I thought it was a fun joke back in the day.
but it's stuck, so that means something, surely.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck with it. And then El Biogrupo. El Biogrupo. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you could say biogrupo, but it's the biogrupo.
Ah,
El biogrupo.
I need to work on my Spanish accent. And some highlights, some cool facts about Nando. Nando speaks 4 languages. Which...
No. I can barely speak English. But I'm trying not to. That's right. I'm trying hard not to.
I can barely speak English. Yeah, anyone who can speak more than one language is very, very impressive in my eyes. Nando has many publications, and my favorite one is, you're going to know which one I'm going to say to you. It's the one titled "Sexy Birds Are Superior at Solving a Foraging Problem."
Yeah, using search engine optimization in research. Like you choose the keywords and then everybody loves that paper.
Before this, I was thinking about titles of papers, and when I was doing my PhD, one of the challenges I was set was to name as many papers as I could after Shakespeare quotes. So I managed 2 Shakespeare quotes. One was "A rose by any other name," and one was "Sweet flowers are slow and weeds make haste." And the second one, I was trying to remember it, so I looked at it and then I tried Googling it, and my paper came up like as a second and third result when I Googled that quote. So I don't know if that really helps me in my publications, and it's probably just influenced by the cookies on my website, so it's probably not going to come up in the same order on someone else's website, someone else's Google search. But there you go.
I think it's brilliant. We have to work in our titles.
I just spent a lot of time looking through the complete works of Shakespeare for them. Time well spent. Do you have an advanced qualification in advanced wilderness medicine?
I've done a few courses on like first aid courses, and then I do one every year that I'm leading an expedition with British Exploring. So they pile up, and then you get to higher levels and fancier names. But I hope I'm never in such a situation where I need that knowledge, because I will be wow. I will try my best, of course, but for that, I think we better get doctors proper training.
But if you're out in the middle of the jungle, you cannot have the doctors.
Yeah, exactly. No, I try my best, and I'm really interested in the topic, and I want to get better at it. So I'm always reading about it and trying to feel safer, because I mean I was once in a situation, and I don't want to feel so helpless anymore. So yeah, it's something I recommend to everyone. Like, do it at least a first aid course, the most basic one of one day, and you will feel much better if something ever comes up.
Just got to remember what you were taught in that situation. I know some master's degrees do it as part of the master's training, which is quite cool. I never did, but I know some people that have done it, which is good move. And so in 2018, you joined a BBC crew in the Peruvian Amazon to film scenes for David Attenborough's series 7 Worlds and 1 Planet, which is pretty cool.
That was pretty awesome, yes. Pretty awesome.
And am I right in thinking you are fresh out of a statistics course?
Yes, you are well informed.
Were you running it?
No. This one was very, very difficult. This is something I need from one of those new jobs I have. So I thought I could use a bit of refreshment. I mean, I didn't know anything about Bayesian. I mean, I'm still learning to say the name even in English. Bayesian statistics. Is it right like that?
Yeah, Bayesian. Bayesian. I don't know. Bayesian is how I say it.
Well, I can tell you that the name is the easiest part of it because the rest is like Chinese to me.
Yeah.
Super hard. I mean, I've learned a lot of cool things, very interesting things that I can apply right away, and it's probably solving many problems now and in the future. But I still need to catch up a lot and read a lot.
During my PhD, I bought myself a book on Bayesian statistics. I think I managed maybe 20 pages, then realized I was never going to use it. Why torture myself? I don't remember a single thing.
Yeah, unless you have a very clear aim and project where you are going to apply the knowledge, I think all of these, I call it science fiction things, but because for me are so difficult to understand that I call it science fiction. But if you can apply it, then yes, then you can link the dots. And I think that's a problem we had in our education. Like in university, we learn so many things that we didn't know how to apply. And it's only now that I'm realizing, oh, I should have studied this. Oh, that's why you have to learn to multiply matrices.
Yeah, I agree. As soon as you learn like the reason for something and how you can apply it, it just gives you also so much more motivation to learn it.
Yes,
You're like,
absolutely.
mental note, remember that will be useful.
Yeah. Or that you can apply it right away after the lesson. Okay, now my project does this. That's perfect.
So in summary, yeah, Nando is passionate, dedicated, bright and fun, and I think very good, maybe too good at saying yes. That's my summary of you.
Yes, something. I mean, that last part probably is true.
Did you ever see the film Yes Man?
Mm. No, but I heard about it, and I'm scared to watch it. So I? Will it teach me?
Well, I haven't watched it in about, oh, gosh, 8 years plus, but it's this guy who decides to say yes to everything. So I think almost maybe you should do the opposite. Just
This
like
guy.
try going for months and only saying no to everything and
Mm.
then see what happens.
They say at the beginning of your career you have to say yes to almost everything. And at some point when you stabilize or find your job and the things you like, you have to say no to almost everything. And I'm very happy where I am now, but I think I'm still very used to that saying yes to everything because everything is so exciting and there are so many fun things to do. Yeah, I'm paying for it dearly. But not this. This is wonderful. I love it.
Well, yeah, it works out well for me that you're a yes person. Before I move on to my round one of questions, I want to know what's on your mug.
This is, I this is fake coffee. It's cereal thing that you put with hot water and milk, and then it tastes like coffee. Because one of my problems of saying yes to many things is that I stop sleeping.
Oh gosh.
I was just thinking about all the things I wanted to do, and then in the morning I was tired, so I was in the loop of drinking coffee and then thinking and not sleeping and drinking coffee, and I realized one day I stopped drinking coffee and then I slept like a baby. So now I'm trying, and it's really, really, really sad because I love coffee, but I'm gonna try to to stick to this thing and try to sleep a bit better.
Yeah, I'm a weird person in that I gave up caffeine a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
I love coffee. I gave up caffeine, and yeah, it just helps me keep that little bit more steady with my work.
But I think it's people like you and me doing many things. We fell in a pot of coffee when we were kids, like Obelix, and then we don't really need coffee. We just like it, but we don't really need. We are driven by the excitement of doing things.
Yeah, this is true. And I drink decaf coffee.
Mhm. Did you notice something after? Was it why did you stop drinking coffee?
I just because when I'd come back to work after lunch or when I started work, I had this massive energy drain. I'd feel really tired. especially after lunch. I was like, oh, the only thing that can solve this is caffeine. And now I don't get that massive like
It's the
dip
content.
after lunch. So it's just a bit more constant, my energy levels. But I do sort of compensate with chocolate buttons.
I totally agree. It's fantastic. Sometimes I use chocolate also in the mug.
Yeah. So my first question to you, Nando, is
Mhm.
can you please introduce yourself in 3 words?
Oh my! After all your words, I have to choose.
Yeah, just 3 words.
Um, curious, sleepless biologist,
Nice.
or maybe if it's more useful, like for tasks or things I like, maybe learning, adventure, and people.
Nice. That's a good tagline.
Yes.
And now, so I mean, I'm not used to writing questions, so I had a stab and let's see how it goes. Can you please tell us a bit about kind of yourself, but kind of splitting your professional life into 3 phases? So just in a few minutes, your education, your early career, and then what you do now. Is that a too big a question? Just like an overview, snapshot.
Okay. Like a draft, like a little abstract.
Yeah.
Okay, education. Education, I studied a biology degree. Back in my days, it was 5 years, and I did it in southern Spain in a university there. And then just after university, I started working in the next section when I explain the working. But after a couple of years, I started a PhD. And at the same time, I realized that I needed a master's to do the PhD by law. So I did both things at the same time. I studied a master in, I mean, it was easy. It was easy. That wasn't difficult. It was a master's in animal biodiversity in the University of Barcelona, and the PhD also in the University of Barcelona, but actually it was in the Museum of Zoology of Barcelona.
Mm.
And then I think that ends. No, I mean, you keep on learning your whole life, and last week I was doing this course, but the official learning phase stopped when I finished my PhD in 2012. And then I mean, I keep on doing lots of courses all the time because it's fantastic, and I need them to do the bits and pieces, so your education doesn't finish ever. Ever.
It's very true.
then for the working part, I mean, my first job, I had many little jobs, but my first official one was working for the government in a region in the north of Spain. It was the administration, and we were working conservation topics mostly. So it was a fantastic job. It was a training job for early career biologists, and I learned so many things just going. I had the job that all the people I was working with wanted because I was doing a little bit of everything, everything they were doing. So sometimes I was with the guards, like, I don't know, banding or ringing eagles, or sometimes I was my favorite part was taking the car, one of those 4-wheel drives. We have several to choose from every morning, and then I will go and drive to all the reserves and special locations, and I will, for example, count birds or look at the species, biodiversity, and then write down all the most important bits. Come back to the office, make a map, and then say I got to choose around 50 special wetlands and rivers locations to apply conservation law to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fantastic. It was like I had a friend, and we were always imitating the crunching sound of a cash machine because we were getting paid to walk in the forest. It's fantastic. It was but I'm getting too deep into each one. Okay, after that one, I spent I started my PhD and then spent 10 years in academia. I did a PhD, and then I did a few postdocs. It depends on how you group them, because I did like 6 months, and then I went for holidays or cycling through Africa, and then I came back and did another one. So I was a postdoc in Sweden for 2 years, more or less, and then in the US, in Austin, Texas. And then in Austin, I was working for the Max Planck in Germany. So I was a remote control postdoc. and then after that, I started getting a bit tense about my career, because it was leading to a place I didn't really want to be. Like I didn't want to be a professor and direct a group, and I wanted to go more to the field and have more freedom and do more things apart from publications, because that's mostly what you do in academia. and then I went on some adventures, and finally I found this job. And by this job, I mean the job in the Czech Republic, where I work with an independent research group called Alka Wildlife. And here we do a myriad, zillions of projects in conservation, but I mean mainly research, scientific research, but most of it is applied to conservation. So I have a nice aim, and I get to do many different things. But if that wasn't enough, like I got other many little jobs and ideas and projects, and so that's the good part of it, that this job in Czechia allows me to do all these other things, and then I have this variety I wanted. And I guess that links to the now. I mean, right now, last year, it was the year I wanted to lead my own expeditions after several years of doing it with British Exploring Society or as a scientist. I wanted to take my own people and go look for places. But then COVID arrived. So instead, I've been focusing on the computer because I couldn't do anything else. So then I got better at this data analysis and data science, and through that, with a bit of luck, I got this remote job in Lithuania, helping them analyze data on sustainable fisheries, so, which is also very exciting. It's playing Sudokus, which is what that data science is. It's like fixing little things in the code and then plotting the data and playing with it and torturing it. tell me your secrets. And
shaking it. Tell me what you know.
it's lots of fun. I like it a lot. So it's been a nice alternative until they open the doors again, the gates, and then I can go on expeditions. And that's it now. I mean, there I can tell you many things, but maybe they come out.
Yeah, we can explore them as we go on. So many things to.
What's your favorite bit?
Favorite bit? The adventures.
The adventure, right?
Yeah. The exploring. Yeah, I've never had. I kind of feel like I've never done that thing as a conservationist where I've gone abroad and I spent like a big chunk of time abroad doing research or conservation. My conservations, although I work in international conservation now and I love that, and I have traveled abroad with my job, it's only been short term. Yeah, and a lot of my work's been UK based. So yeah, I feel like I kind of missed slightly a rite of passage as a conservationist because I never spent a year in the jungle like people did.
Are you feeling it more this year? Like after all these lockdowns, don't you feel like now I'm gonna do it?
Yeah, no, there's some great things about lockdown. I live in a beautiful place. I'm very lucky, but yeah, it does make me crave even more to get away and to go exploring.
Right. I think it's telling us or reminding us that we don't have all the time in the world and anything like it can happen. So now, not for the first time, but now very clearly we are told, okay, maybe you should do it next year because anything can happen, and I think many of us are getting that feeling.
Mm.
We want to push it.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's made me realize the value of little micro adventures at home, like a
That's also
small
true.
camping, bivvying, yeah, even a day out on my bike just feels like an adventure now. But yeah, I do really miss it, and I think definitely not the only one. It's, I don't know what it is. I think so many conservationists have this, so many people I know, just this urge to experience different places and meet new people, and yeah.
We are high on life.
Not open this window. Well, warming up. You might hear the seagulls. So no, I've done that. Seagulls are warming up. They're high on life.
Could be.
Okay, now we're going to play a game. And we are going to play Would You Rather.
Okay.
Yeah. And are you familiar with the sitcom Friends, the American sitcom?
Which one?
Friends?
Friends, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I grew up on Friends, so most of my life situations can be related to Friends.
Everything
For all the days of Netflix, there wasn't much else, just Friends. So yeah, and they do this one day when Joey's trying to make a decision. But I know you're not trying to make a decision, but I just thought it'd be a fun game to play. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Would you rather X or Y? And I want you to answer as quickly as possible without thinking too much. So no overthinking.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll chat about them afterwards. So, okay, here we go. Would you rather live in the Arctic or the Amazon?
Amazon.
Would you rather live on land and never see the sea, or live on the sea and never see the land?
Land.
Would you rather be eaten by a tiger or be eaten by a bear?
Oh my goodness.
No.
Probably tiger because I will die faster. It will bite here and then I wouldn't suffer. But I don't know. I don't want to.
Would you rather be able to talk with animals or speak all foreign languages?
Wait. To be able to speak with animals?
Yeah, or speak all foreign languages.
Can I do the animals first and then study for the languages?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. With all that spare time you have.
Come on, imagine if you could speak to the animals, then you will get free translators everywhere.
Would you rather live always in a wetsuit or always in hiking gear?
Always in hiking. I hate the wetsuit.
Would you rather be a vulture or a hummingbird?
Oh, hummingbird. Yes.
Nice.
I mean, right now, I prefer drinking from flowers than eating corpses. Shorter life, but sweeter.
Sweet nectar sounds better. Would you rather your only mode of transportation be a donkey or a giraffe?
Oh, come on. Can you imagine? I want a giraffe. we solve mysteries together, no?
Yeah. We fight crime together. Giraffe can just see everything. It can see over the crowd, and you're just like, tell you everything that's going on.
What can you see with your giraffe eyes?
I don't know how good the vision of a giraffe is, but
Yeah, I wonder the same.
maybe a giraffe with X-ray vision.
Come on, you are
Can be
making it
your
poor
trusty
donkey. He
steed.
had no choice, no chance.
Would you rather be a chameleon or an otter?
A chameleon or an otter?
Mm.
I really love otters, but I like chameleons too. What would be cooler? I think otters. I like moving faster.
Okay, nice. Would you rather track lynx in the snow or lead expeditions to the Peruvian Amazon?
This was a trap.
No.
It's very hard. I don't know.
You can skip one if you like.
One thing is very lonely. The other one is social, and that helps me. Yeah, I think then I would choose the Amazon.
Okay. Would you rather do a jungle jabber interview with me or be in the actual jungle right now?
Can we be together in the jungle? We could do this in the jungle next time.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sorted. Yeah.
Jungle jabber from the jungle. It's gonna be great.
The authentic jungle jabber. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can arrange that. Or maybe I just need to change my background to jungle. Fool myself.
No, we will. We will eventually next year.
Would you rather have David Attenborough as your grandfather or as a mate to go down to the pub with?
Probably grandfather. And I used to go to the pub with my grandfather anyway.
Oh, there you go. Just take your grandfather to the pub and have a pint with him. Yeah, two are not mutually exclusive.
Fantastic.
Last one.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather spend a year cycling or a year sailing?
Yeah. Maybe I will try the sailing one.
Nice. That's a hard one. Okay. More questions. Okay. Could you tell me if you think your childhood influences, like things you did as a child, influence your career choice? If so, how?
Yeah, quite a lot. Now you were talking about David, Sir David.
Yeah.
we had in Spain. We had I was gonna say incipient, but he was great. He was a fantastic outreach person, like one of our first conservationists on TV. He was called Felix Rodriguez de la Fuente, and he died. He died the day I was born, not the day, the year I was born. And but he had such an influence in my country. Like he was so good at words, not like me. He was he could captivate all the audience from the TV. From a little box, he will talk to you and hypnotize you. And the same as Sir David. It was the same style. And I started watching his documentaries and his programs when I was very, very, very little. And then I decided very quickly, I want to be a biologist. He made me decide that. I had more role models from TV like this, but he was the trigger totally. And then I had a lot of help from my parents because they like nature a lot. So we were always camping. We were always going to places. They allowed me to keep everything wild that I could find outside. So I was scaring my mother every day with spiders and I don't know, herons in boxes that had broken wings. And yeah, I think that was a huge influence. My family, my grandpa, my grandma, yeah, everybody wanted me to be a biologist.
And lots of time outside.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh yeah. This was a question I wanted to ask you. Have you ever done a job that was not conservation related? And if so, what was it, and how did you learn from it? What did you take away from it?
My goodness, but I had so many weird jobs.
I love the weird jobs.
Yeah, many. I mean, as everybody, we start in conservation doing other things, like trying to get money to survive or pay for a conference. And I've done many little things like waiting tables and all of this, like everybody. But my most a not so common job and that I have to thank a lot for was a job I did during a summer in order to get money to go to my first scientific conference.
Nice.
And And what I did was to start selling alarms door to door with a company that was selling stuff. And then they told me, now you have to sell this alarm, and then you go in the morning, and then you start knocking on doors, and you have to sell them. And I mean, imagine what a difficult, horrible job where everybody don't want to open the door
Like
to,
house alarms.
yeah, like, yeah, house alarms for your home. So
Gosh.
I mean, it was such a job that trained me for rejection, or how to talk to people, how to, I don't know. It taught me statistics, for example,
Mhm.
because if you knock on enough doors, you will sell an alarm. So it's just a statistics number, and then you could plan it. So today I will talk to 100 people, and then for sure I sell one alarm, and I get my salary. But it was a very difficult job. But then I think it made me much better at talking to people outside and interacting. And this is so good for many parts of our jobs now. Like in conservation, for example, community conservation is basic, and being able to talk to people opens a lot of doors, even if you want to sell an alarm.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I've had lots of weird random jobs, and I was a very awkward teenager that wasn't very good at speaking to people. I'm still a bit awkward. But the jobs I had that was a public facing, working in shops, waitressing, they were the ones that really kind of helped me develop that kind of skill as well. And yeah,
They
pretty
give you
much.
superpowers.
Sorry.
They give you superpowers.
Yeah, yeah, and I like talking to people. I do most of the time when I'm in the right mood.
Wouldn't
Um,
be here.
I like to chat. Yeah, there's very few jobs where forming relationships, short term and long term, is not an important skill.
What was your non-related to conservation favorite job?
Favorite? Oh gosh, so many. Uh, favorite? Well, one of my favorite jobs was when I worked at a hardware store that I worked before I went to uni. Then when I came back from uni, then I went traveling. Then I came back there. Then I went did my masters. And I came back there. So I just kept coming back. I have a feeling that I might just retire and go back work in this hardware store. But yeah, working in the hardware store, because it was kind of an old-fashioned hardware store. There was a bit for stoves out the back, wood-burning stoves. There was, wellies, nails, screws, plumbing parts, paint, as well as kids' toys, mugs, kitchenware, like everything. It was an old-fashioned hardware store, and that taught me, a lot of communication skills, but also, some good sort of organizational and trying to be a bit driven and finding things to do. Like when it was quiet and there wasn't much to do, then it was, okay, I can't just stand here. I need to make some work, do
You,
something.
you, you must have learned so much about tools too, like to fix things at home.
You would think so, but no. I'm still useless at DIY. I might know a little bit more than I otherwise would, but
For sure, you know the names of the things, and that's very important.
true. Considering I used to advise people about plumbing parts, and now, and now I wouldn't go near any plumbing. A little bit concerning. But as far as I'm aware, no one ever had any plumbing emergencies thanks to my terrible advice. Well, they didn't
So,
tell me. I'd like to hear a little bit more about both bioblogia.net and El Biogrupo. You could, they just sound such cool projects and so full of energy. Can you tell us a bit more about those?
yeah, they are my kids. It's very nice. So bioblogia, I pronounce it bioblogia because it's like biología, which is biology, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
blog, bioblog. Yeah.
Nice.
And that was the silly joke that will haunt me forever. So biología or biología was something I started in the last year of university because I realized that I needed a job after finishing university. So then I thought, okay, I have to start looking for jobs. And back then it was when internet had just started. I feel very old now, but it was where at least in my home I didn't have a computer until I started university. So you can imagine.
I didn't have one till I started university. No, I
Well,
can relate. We had the family home one, but yeah, I didn't have my own one till I started uni.
yeah. I got the family one then when I started, or a few years after. Well, the thing is that I started looking in the internet for jobs, and against all odds, and to my surprise, I found many jobs everywhere. Of course, they were on the other corner of the world, so I couldn't really use it. But I started collecting them, and then by then I had many friends already from summer camps and in other countries, and so I started sending these jobs. Hey, I thought of you. This job you could probably apply to it. And I started doing this for more and more people. And then I realized it was too much. So I started like a long email list. And in the end I thought, why don't I publish this directly in a website? And I did it, and I created the blog like that. And then I started receiving, like, people started sending me the jobs to publish them on my website. And that was super useful because I was the first one finding out about these jobs. And also people were asking me questions, and I started replying by email. I think this is better in this other job, or you could try this thing that I read somewhere that, and little by little, I started getting many questions, and then I realized I can do the same. I can post them on the website and receive less questions because people can read them, but that had the opposite effect. More and more people wrote to us about questions. And now, I mean, all these years after, I try to do that. I try to share my own experience and that of my colleagues and publish posts. And then also what I started was a community. I started first with a Facebook page, but then people were talking in the comments. So then I said, okay, let's make a group. And then I started this El Biogrupo or Biogrupo, Bio Group, where I tried to put a lot of filters so that only the people that really want to get in the group. Because that, I mean, I don't want a group where everybody's just, I don't know, sharing all their posts from Facebook. We want a group where we are talking and creating things and starting projects, and that's what we are doing now. Like, we have many different teams that focus on their abilities or what they are curious about, and they start, I mean, I don't know, they do interviews like we are doing right now, or they edit the videos from those interviews, or they make long lists of places you could apply for a master's practicum. I don't know. We have a lot of little projects, and also we make lots of jokes, make friends, and it's fantastic. It will be even better when we can meet in 3D, but in real life. But right now, it's already working quite well.
So have you had
I was going to
3D
say that it's
meetings?
a similar thing to your Wild Hub. So
Yeah. So I'm going to post this on Wild Hub, and that's
Mhm.
the main place it's going to be. But for anyone watching it not on Wild Hub is a community of conservationists, conservation practitioners globally, and it's a free place where people can join as a member. But yeah, it's a space to share lessons learned, to talk about well-being, ideas, to ask questions, anything really, and it's member-led. So members decide what happens on there. Yeah, it's just over 1 year old, and it's going great.
It's fantastic. We have to do lots of things together.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, have you had 3D meetups in the past, or is this something you're planning post lockdown?
We managed one before the lockdown,
Yes.
and it was lots of fun. We met in southern Spain, in the region where I grew up and where I studied biology in Extremadura, and it was a group of very, very happy and excited people that want to do things in biology and conservation. And we had a great time, and we are missing it a lot. But next one is gonna be fantastic.
Everyone's got all this like pent up energy from like not socializing from a year. They're going to be either super social or just not quite remember how to socialize with more than one person.
Not in a screen. They say it's gonna be like the roaring 20s again.
Yeah, that would be great. Oh, Great Gatsby, was that 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah, just reread that. Kind of, that'd be great. So let me keep focused so we don't run out of time.
Oh, we have a limit.
We don't have a limit. If you don't have a limit, I don't have a limit. Just might be a limit to what people watch.
No. Then go ahead.
Their loss. If you could, oh no, that's a cool question. I'll miss that one out. Tell us about a mistake you made in your life and what you learned from it.
Mistakes.
Yeah.
Many little ones that didn't. I mean, many little ones that didn't affect me much, but I see now a recursive one, a repeating one. I see now that I repeat an error and I get better at it, but I is still repeating, which is not knowing when to stop or when to change or when to make a decision. And I feel that earlier in my career, I would have had to choose to change careers or to do something different. And I could have done it much faster. And I feel very fast now. I do many things very fast, but still the years pass, and then I realize, I could have done it much faster. And this is for everything. Like thinking about starting a project, for example. It took me ages to start some ideas. Out of fear, out of I don't know, imposter syndrome or whatnot, or real imposter, because I wouldn't be I wouldn't be good at it. But that didn't matter in the end. Like everything I have started wishy-washy, in the end it was okay and it was much better, and I could have gone through that fear much faster. And I think it's about aging, I guess. Like we all go through this process, and we just accept it. But it's fun. Don't you feel the same, that you think past and then wow, what was I scared of?
Yeah, I think for me, as I get older, I get better at throwing myself in at the deep end, and just going for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly confidence as I get older,
I guess.
kind of, and I think it's partly knowing that you've got tools to deal with it if it goes a bit wrong. So it might go wrong, but then if it goes a bit wrong, then you know,
Either you can fix it or the consequences are not so bad.
Yeah, or it just becomes nothing, and then it's like, okay, well, what did I lose from that? Tried it, didn't work.
Like us doing this interview.
Me too. I might learn from this that I should never do interviews again, but that's a good learning approach.
No, I think it's gonna be great.
Don't think I'm going to have a career in communication, but hey, I like my job, so that's fine.
No, you never know. You might like this.
Oh yeah, okay, let's play another game. Did you bring with you a piece of white bread?
I forgot to tell you, I don't eat bread.
Oh gosh.
But I have 2 wraps if you want.
Wraps is a better idea, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, wraps.
Are you gonna make a sandwich out of me?
So put them like this along your face. Nando wrap. So yeah, I think wraps will work better than bread. So my challenge to you is, you can get two takes at this. I would like you to choose from one of the following and I want you to create this out of the wrap. Okay, you can choose which one you create, but this is the list. And some of these you will recognize as things that you've studied in the past. So you can have a lynx, Eurasian.
Oh my God.
I would be able to tell the difference. Eurasian otter, a ground squirrel, siskin. I have written the scientific names, but I'm not going to attempt them.
Spinus.
Yeah, Cardunus spinus.
Yeah, it changed.
Okay. House finch or a European perch.
Maybe that's the issue.
Choice is yours. Do you want me to read the list again?
I think I remember.
Okay.
I was discarding.
No way.
Okay, I will try to make the perch.
Okay. I can always speed up this bit of the video as well.
But you are expecting a lot of
intricate detail.
And I can only use the bread, right?
Yeah. So you can either tear it with your hands or you can eat it.
That's tempting. Okay, I will make a fat one. Okay, I guess I know what I'm having for lunch.
Perch-shaped wrap.
What do you have for lunch?
Me, my standard is a poached egg or boiled egg. Sometimes I'll be efficient, boil 4 eggs on a Monday. That'll get me through. Sometimes I'll treat myself to a pasty because I live in Cornwall. It's in my blood now. How about you? What's your lunch staple?
I think it's gonna be egg-based too. I was planning to do something more complicated or tasty, but someone told us that there are 28 sea eagles on a pond nearby. So after lunch, we are gonna go there and do some counting and photos. And
cool. That's exciting. Yeah, I like lunch to be efficient. Too much else to do in the day.
For last week, when I had to do this course, I know this. I've done course with the same platform before, and I know they are super intensive. So the previous week I was cooking the whole week for this week to have it ready, and we only had 30 minutes for lunch.
Oof.
Wow.
Ouch. Yeah, that sounds organized.
Okay, I think I'm gonna give up like this.
Nice.
There are some things missing. But it looks a bit more like a sunfish, no?
Like a basking shark.
A little bit like this.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not very good with this artistic part.
Got character.
No.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Work of art. Thank you.
I'm an artist.
Artist. You definitely are. We'll make a museum to house them all in.
We do more events, and every event I will finish that list you gave me of all the animals. I think my niece is better at this.
Is that the drawings behind you?
I asked her to send. Well, my sister sends them. I commission them, and then my niece, who is 3 years old, she makes them for me.
What are you most excited about for the upcoming year, and why?
I mean, like many people coming out of this, I'm very excited about the expedition I had planned. I went to the Peruvian Amazon just before the lockdown to prepare, to plan the expedition. I went to the places we were going to go put our hammocks on, and yeah, we will do this, we will do that. And then I came to the Czech Republic, and 3 days later they closed the country.
Ah,
So I had to push it, and this year I cannot do it either. So next year that definitely will be my most exciting thing.
yeah.
And I already talking to more people to go to other countries, so they
Nice.
will miss me here.
So watch this space.
Yes.
I'll put the links to your website and stuff in this, so anyone who's interested in that can have a look.
Yes, I'm something I thought about.
Yeah.
At the moment of recording this, I haven't done it yet because I don't have time. But I plan, and I'm using this interview to push me to do it, push myself to do it.
To hold you accountable.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna make an email list for Alka Wildlife, our conservation NGO, and there I'm gonna try to write in English at least once a month and share all the things we do and all these expeditions and well, all the work we do and how to collaborate and lots of things. I'm planning lots of things, as you can imagine, but I'm not doing them because I have no time. But by telling you now, I'm pushing myself to do it. So it will be in alkawildlife.eu, and there somewhere I will put it.
Great. No, that sounds good. I look forward to that. I'll sign up.
Excellent. Thank you. First subscribers.
Yeah. What are you least excited about for the coming year, and why? Is that too negative?
I have an automatic response for that, which is paperwork. But I'm least excited about that every year, all the years. But apart from that, I don't know. I hope it gets better, but I will be least excited about another year of not being able to go to other countries or having social life. What about you?
Well, least excited about, yeah, the fear of not being able to socialize. I mean, I'm not the most sociable person. I have my limits to socializing, where I just need my quiet time. I do miss it. Miss
Yeah,
doing friends and family. So yeah, that.
Yeah, it's good to have a combination of solo time, social time. I really enjoy now for the first time in many years living by myself in a house with lots of space and places to fix my bike and stuff. And also I love these tracking links in the snow, which is a very solo activity. But at the same time, it's you miss people.
Yeah. I had a lovely weekend, like walking the dog, doing some gardening. It was very kind of quiet and pottering and great. Well, there was quite a lot to do, but I was quite content. But yeah, it would have been nice to have mixed in something in there of just hanging out with friends a bit more.
Nice parties.
But anyway, life. We'll see what happens.
Finds a way.
You mentioned your bike. Now, it's not really conservation related. I just
it is.
I should really like cycling.
But I will wait for your question, but then I will tell you something that happened today.
Well, this wasn't one of my planned questions. I just heard the word bike and my mind goes, oh, let's talk about bikes. Because you spoke about, when we talked previously, wanting to do some very cool long distance cycling. So yeah, tell me the bike story. Let's go for that one then, seeing as I didn't actually have a bike question. Just
so this week we are doing something. We are doing an otter survey to get genetic samples to know who is who in our region. We have been doing this winter. We do otter tracking, and we did a lot of it in the snow. We have a rough idea of how many otters are where. We are pretty sure about it, but it would be great to confirm our method with genetics. So then what we are doing now is to follow Well, one of the experts of our team has been identifying the best locations to collect otter's brains, which is the otter excrement that they use to mark places. And then that we can send to the lab and to analyze the genetic content of it. And so we had the map with all these special locations, and now we have to go day after day to try to get the freshest samples to all these places. And there are many, many places. So two of our experts are taking the car and going to different places. And now there are no more cars left. And as I have to do other work here, I'm left with a small stretch. But instead of walking, I don't know how many dozens of kilometers, what I do is to take my mountain bike and I do all of this point by point with my bike. So it's super useful for conservation. And I love it. Doing this before working with a computer is fantastic. A bit every morning.
So you go out every morning before you sit down?
It depends. I mean, yes, because even if I'm working the computer all day, I start the day by going out and taking some photos of sunrise or looking for auto. But usually it's half an hour when I have to work at home. But now when we have different projects, sometimes I do the whole day, or sometimes it's like this before lunch or something like that. But yeah, every day I have to go outside a bit.
Yeah. It very rarely happens, but if I go have a whole day where I don't go outside, I just go a little bit stir crazy. And I started setting myself a challenge recently of going for a run every morning before I start work. I thought I'll do this for Lent. So I'm on day 36, I don't know. It's never a long run, usually just a short run. And it means I have to go out when it's raining, when it's windy, just anything. I have to get outside. And it's quite interesting, the difference in mindset of when I just have to do it rather than it being a choice. I just do it.
Yeah, you decided, you made the decision, so you don't have to repeat the decision anymore. Fantastic.
Don't think about it. Doesn't mean it's easier getting out of bed. Getting out of bed, still a challenge. But once I'm out of bed and running, I never regret it.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, and that's a really nice way to start the day. I don't know if I'll keep it up after that. That will be the interesting thing.
I think this is a fantastic tip for any project or anything you plan, like learning a language or, I don't know, getting better at something. It's fantastic. Just even better than have to do it. You choose to do it, but you already made the choosing.
Yeah.
You already took it. It's
I only got myself to blame. I made the choice. I set myself the challenge. But it's what's the best thing about it is I'm not a fast runner. I'm not a very good runner. But I run and I love it. And it's that breath of fresh air when you get out in the morning before you've had the chance to do much else, just like so much better than the air inside.
Yeah, and resetting your circadian rhythm and
Yeah.
generating a lot of good stuff in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but I'd recommend it. But yeah, it's we'll see how long it lasts after Lent.
If not, you swap it by the taking photos, which is very very easy to.
I stop and take photos on my run.
Excellent.
Sometimes it's nice. Okay. Question. Okay, yeah. What question would you like to ask me to ask you?
I think I've heard this question in many podcasts now. Like it's getting on fashion, or it's getting in fashion, I think.
Okay.
And it does so because it leads to very nice conversations, I think. Because the question is, are you happy right now, or how happy are you right now? And this I think about a lot because not so long ago I remember feeling more or less flat. this was more or less around the time I was planning to leave academia and wanted more adventure, more changes. And I
Mhm.
was reasonably happy, but not much was happening. It was not very happy, not sad.
Mhm.
It was very flat. And then after that, I started getting more exciting. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoy that it's not perfect, that nothing is perfect. I'm super happy right now with my job. I
Yeah.
could be better with the social life, but I think I like this room for improvement a lot. And this, even the job has a lot of improvement stuff. I could be better at Czech, for example. But this, I think, is great. I don't know, many people and lots of us, we have been always thinking, when I manage this, when I finish my PhD, when I get probably when I study a master's, I will get to do that, or when I everything we it's like that tricky question when or tricky sentence. When I finish this, I will do that. No, no, no. Do it. Start already. Don't think about it. Start already. Everything is perfect right now because there is room for improvement, and that's very exciting. It's a game.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel
Nice. I like that. And
it's
I
like you have a lot of new projects now in Wild Team, or I are working in getting this course down. And
yeah, we're working a lot on getting some new best practices out. And then so we work on like we put a lot of work into the best practice and
Mhm.
get that. I wouldn't say perfect. I don't really like the word perfect. Just
Yes.
as good as can be, functional and good. And then we turn it into a training workshop. So, and my job is turning it into the training workshop and delivering it. So we've got some new ones coming up. So that's quite exciting because I like taking the best practice manual and then thinking, okay, well, how can I teach this? How can I share this? How can I make this interesting? How can I help people apply this to their own work, either now or past or future? So that's fun because it is space for being creative. Yeah. And on the happiness thing, is I think, like, I totally agree with you. Like, you should. There's this, I think, innate thing in us. Like, okay, we've got this. What's the next step? What's the next step? What's coming next? We're always kind of forced to look on to what's coming next. And in my, I've always been quite competitive. Yeah, well, yeah, competitive, but quite career driven. I think that's the word I'm going for. It's like always, what's next? What's next? But actually, I really like my job. So why should I be thinking, okay, what's next? What's next? Why shouldn't I just take time to enjoy my job and be happy with that? That's something I've learned, to just not always be thinking about what next. So similar to you, I think something else I've learned as I get older, maybe a little bit wiser, but who knows, is that happiness and contentment are two very different things. When I was young, I was like, contentment sounds boring, want adventure all of the time. But I think contentment is an amazing thing, and I aim to be content with my life, because that gives me kind of, it kind of, I quite like, if you were kind of explaining these ups and downs, which they're great, and I love the excitement of life, and then things get quieter and then busy and adventure and stuff. I also like having that kind of baseline contentment going underneath it, because I think if you can
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
to be content with what you've got, which is a challenge sometimes, but yeah, that contentment is a wonderful thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You explained it very well. If we are going up, but in this going up, there are ups and downs, but the mean, the average is going up. That's our line of contentment,
yeah,
going up.
yeah, yeah. You can, you're right. You can draw a graph. So you got your line of contentment, and then you got the ups and downs of life.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as you don't stray too far from that
Always
contentment.
getting a bit better, but challenging times and rewarding times. I say very often that life is like a video game, but actually video games are like life. You want them to be a bit difficult, but not too much. Because if they are too easy, then you get bored immediately. If they
Yeah.
are too difficult, you give up. It
Yeah.
has to be a bit, and that's the same with the career and with life. We need a bit of excitement.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. That's a very good analogy. Maybe that's the place where we should leave. Wrap this up. Life is like a video game, or video
Enjoy.
games are like life, and leave us to ponder on that for the rest of the day. I know. I don't have a beard to stroke.
I barely have one. Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you very, very much for your time in your busy schedule. I
Thank you for the nice, perfect excuse.
could have chatted on for a lot longer. But I think, yeah, that was a lovely way to find out more about you, your life, your thoughts, your philosophies, and your ability to make animals out of wraps. So thank you very much.
Thank you for the chance. It was a pleasure. And hope we will repeat soon, maybe in other venues.
Yeah,
And
in the jungle.
yeah, for sure.
Jungle Jabba in the jungle. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
I'll press stop recording now.
Have a wonderful day.